Ladies and gentlemen, failure is not the end. Failure is a teacher. It is a mirror reflecting back what we must correct, what we must strengthen, and what we must become. Too often people let failure define them. They fall once and they say, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I'm not good enough. But failure isn't telling you to quit. Failure is whispering to you, learn, adjust, and rise again. You see, every great success you admire today was born out of many painful failures. Those who shine the brightest have walked through the darkest nights. When you face rejection, don't see it as a closed door. See it as redirection. Life is not shutting you down. Life is pointing you toward a better path. That opportunity you lost, it wasn't yours. That person who walked away, they weren't meant to stay. Every setback is guiding you, shaping you, preparing you for the breakthrough that belongs to you. But you must trust the process and keep moving forward, even when you can't see the end of the road. Strength isn't developed when things are easy. Strength is forged in the fire of adversity. When life knocks you down, it is not testing your weakness. It is testing your willpower. Can you still rise when everything in you wants to stay down? Can you keep walking when your legs are heavy with defeat? That is where strength is built, in the hard times, in the painful times, in the moments where most people quit. But if you decide, I'm not staying down, you'll discover a resilience inside you that you didn't even know existed. Success isn't about never falling. It's about rising one more time than you fall. That's it, one more time. The difference between the ordinary and the extraordinary is simply persistence. People who succeed are not the ones who never failed. They're the ones who refuse to let failure have the last word. Every time you rise, you become stronger. Every time you rise, you become wiser. Every time you rise, you move closer to your destiny. Failure teaches us what success never could. Success makes you celebrate. Failure makes you evaluate. Success makes you smile. Failure makes you grow. Success feels good, but failure builds character. It teaches you humility, patience, resilience, and focus. These are the very qualities that sustain you when success finally arrives. Without failure, success would crush you. Failure prepares you for the weight of greatness. And when you finally glow, when you finally stand tall in your success, it will mean more because you remember the grind. You remember the losses. You remember the times you almost gave up. The glow is beautiful because the grind was painful. The victory is sweet because the battle was bitter. That's the beauty of failing forward. It transforms every stumble into a stepping stone, every loss into a lesson, every scar into a story of triumph. So don't run from failure, embrace it. Don't be ashamed of your setbacks, learn from them. And don't you dare quit, because every failure is simply proof that you are trying, proof that you are in the arena, proof that you are on your way to something greater. Your failures are not burying you, they are planting you. And just like a seed buried in the dirt, you will rise again stronger, taller, and more powerful than ever before. Failure is not final, it's feedback for your future. Think about that. So many people treat failure like a tombstone. They look at it and say, that's the end of me. That's proof I can't do it. But in reality, failure is not the end. It's not a period, it's a comma. It's a pause in the sentence of your life. A moment where you are supposed to stop, reflect, and learn what went wrong. Failure doesn't come to bury you, it comes to instruct you. It comes to reveal what needs to be adjusted, what needs to be corrected, and what needs to be strengthened in you. When you face failure, the question is not why me, but what is this teaching me? Too often people take failure personally like it's a stamp of who they are. No, failure is an event, not an identity. Just because you failed doesn't mean you're a failure. What it means is you took action, you stepped out, you tried, and now you've received information. That information is priceless because it tells you what didn't work so you can find out what will. Every inventor, every pioneer, every leader in history has failed and failed repeatedly. But they understood something: failure was never meant to be final. It was meant to be feedback. When you shift your perspective, failure becomes your greatest teacher. It shows you your weaknesses, it reveals your blind spots, and it uncovers the areas where growth is required. Success can be deceptive. It makes you think you've got it all together. Failure strips away the illusion and forces you to look at reality. It whispers, here's what you missed. Here's what you need to refine. If you can learn from failure instead of running from it, you will rise stronger, wiser, and more capable than ever before. But here's the truth: most people never get past their first failure. They let one setback define them. They let one paralyze them. They let one disappointment convince them to give up. That's why so many dreams die unfulfilled, because people confuse feedback with finality. The road to success is paved with failures. Each failure is a stepping stone. If you don't step on it, if you don't use it, you'll never make it to the next level. Don't let your failures make you sit down and give up. Let them teach you, stretch you, and prepare you for the destiny that's waiting for you. The person who learns to use failure as feedback becomes unstoppable, because nothing can break them. Every time they fall, they learn. Every time they stumble, they adjust. Every time they lose, they grow, and eventually they win. Not because they avoided failure, but because they embraced it. Now let's talk about rejection, because rejection is just another form of failure. And here's the truth: every rejection is redirection toward your destiny. Too many people take rejection personally. They think when someone says no to them, it means they aren't good enough. They think when an opportunity doesn't work out, it means the dream is dead. But rejection doesn't mean you're not worthy. It means that wasn't the right path, the right person, or the right time. Life has a way of guiding you through rejection. That job you didn't get, maybe it would have stifled your growth. That person who walked away, maybe they weren't meant to go where you're going. That deal that fell through, maybe it would have destroyed your vision. Sometimes life closes a door because it wasn't the right door. Sometimes the no is protecting you, not punishing you. Rejection is God's way, the universe's way, life's way of redirecting you toward the place where you truly belong. But if you stop at rejection, you'll miss your redirection. If you give up after hearing no, you'll never discover the yes that was waiting around the corner. Rejection doesn't define your destiny, it guides you toward it. Every no you hear is making room for the yes. That matters. Think about this. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in life come after rejection. Authors rejected by publishers, entrepreneurs rejected by investors, speakers rejected by audiences. But they didn't stop. They took rejection as redirection. They said, if this door closes, I'll find another. If this person leaves, I'll keep moving. If this opportunity dies, I'll create my own. That's how destiny works. It's not always the straight path you imagined, but it is always the right path if you keep going. So the next time you hear no, don't let it break you, let it build you. Don't see rejection as a setback. See it as a signpost pointing you where you need to go. Rejection is not the end, it's the rerouting system of life. Just like a GPS, when you take the wrong turn, it recalculates. That's what rejection does. It recalculates your route toward your true purpose. Failure is feedback. Rejection is redirection. If you can grasp those two truths, nothing can stop you, because every stumble will make you smarter, and every no will guide you closer to your eyes. And when you finally arrive at your destiny, you'll look back and thank every failure and every rejection, because without them, you would have never discovered the path to greatness. Pain is not your enemy, it's your sculptor. When life knocks you down, when you're hurting, when you're crying in silence where no one can see, that pain isn't there to destroy you. It's there to shape you, to mold you, to carve out the version of yourself that you never thought you could become. Too often people run from pain. They medicate it, they numb it, they deny it. But what you run from only grows bigger. What you face, what you endure, what you allow yourself to process becomes the very thing that strengthens you. The strongest steel is forged in the hottest fire. You don't get durability, you don't get resilience, you don't get power without heat, without pressure, without pain. That heartbreak you went through, it didn't just break you, it built you. That loss you experienced, it wasn't just tragedy, it was training. That season of loneliness, when you felt invisible, abandoned, forgotten, that was the time when you learned how to stand by yourself, how to rely on your inner strength, how to dig deep and discover what you're really made of. Pain has purpose when you refuse to waste it. Think about it, pain reveals your capacity. You don't know how strong you are until life tests you. You don't know the depth of your endurance until you've been stretched past your limits. You don't know the size of your faith until it's been shaken. Pain is the classroom where character is taught. You don't get patience without waiting. You don't get perseverance without enduring. You don't get wisdom without walking through storms that force you to grow. But here's the key. You must choose how you interpret your pain, because pain can make you bitter or it can make you better. Pain can paralyze you or it can propel you. Pain can crush your spirit or it can awaken your strength. The difference isn't the pain itself, it's the perspective you carry. Some people let pain convince them they're cursed, unloved, abandoned. Others let pain convince them they're being prepared, stretched, refined. Which one are you? When you stop asking, why me? And start asking, what is this teaching me? You flip the script. You stop being a victim of your pain, and you start becoming a student of your pain, and students graduate. Students move to new levels. Students transform. You cannot live a great life without pain, but you can choose to let pain give you the fuel to rise instead of the weight to sink. Now let's talk about perseverance, because once you've understood pain's purpose, the next step is pushing forward when everything in you wants to quit. Perseverance is the bridge between failure and triumph, between adversity and accomplishment, between where you are and where you're destined to be. Most people don't lose because they're not talented, not gifted, not intelligent. They lose because they quit too soon. Life is not about how many times you fall. It's about how many times you refuse to stay down. Perseverance is the grit to get up one more time. Even when you're bruised, even when you're tired, even when your body says, "Enough." Perseverance is the inner voice that whispers, keep going, keep fighting. You're closer than you think. Success doesn't always come to the smartest. It doesn't always come to the most skilled. It doesn't always come to the most connected. But it always comes to the one who doesn't give up. That's the law of perseverance. Think of a seed in the soil. It's dark, it's heavy, it looks impossible. But that seed keeps pushing upward, pushing through the dirt, pushing toward the light. And eventually, it breaks through. That's perseverance. When you persevere, you build momentum. And momentum is powerful because it creates breakthroughs. The longer you push, the more unstoppable you become. People around you might quit, but if you keep pressing forward, doors will open. Opportunities will appear. Strength will multiply. Your story will inspire others, because perseverance isn't just about what you accomplish. It's about who you become. Here's the truth. There will be seasons when you feel like giving up. Seasons when nothing seems to change. When all your effort feels wasted. When success looks like a faraway dream. That's when perseverance matters most. Because perseverance is not about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning how to dance in the rain. How to build in the storm, how to keep walking when the road is rough. You can't persevere without struggle, and you can't struggle without growth. The road is supposed to be hard because the hard road builds the person who can carry the blessing. The easy road creates weak people with fragile dreams. The hard road creates warriors with unstoppable destinies. So when you're tired, when you're drained, when you want to quit, don't. Push forward. Remind yourself why you started. Remind yourself who's counting on you. Remind yourself that perseverance is the key to unlocking everything you've been fighting for. Pain shapes you, but perseverance delivers you. Pain forges you, but perseverance crowns you. And when the world sees your victory, they'll think it came overnight. They won't see the nights you cried, the days you struggled, the moments you almost gave up. But you'll know. You'll know that it was pain that shaped you and perseverance that pushed you across the finish line. Failure is not just something you experience, it's something that refines you. Every time you fail, every time you stumble, every time you come up short, something inside you is being reshaped. Failure is like a refining fire. It burns away what is unnecessary, what is weak, what doesn't belong. And if you allow it, it will leave behind something stronger, sharper, and purer than before. The problem is most people don't stay in the fire long enough. They run the moment it gets hot, the moment it gets uncomfortable. But the ones who come out victorious are those who stand in that refining process and say, I won't quit. I won't break. I'll let this pain shape me into the person I was meant to be. Every failure carries a lesson, and that lesson becomes the foundation for your growth. Think about it. The first time you tried to walk, you fell. The first time you tried to talk, you stumbled over your words. The first time you tried to ride a bike, you lost balance. But those failures were your teachers. They weren't there to keep you down. They were there to build you up. Somewhere along the way, as adults, we forgot that failure is education. We started treating it like humiliation. But the truth is, every failure is part of the syllabus of life. If you stop at failure, you fail the class. But if you learn, you graduate to a higher level. Failure reveals strengths you didn't know you had. When you fail, you discover how resilient you are, how creative you can be, how resourceful you must become. Failure forces you to dig deeper than you ever thought possible. It's like a weight in the gym. At first it feels heavy, almost impossible, but the more you lift, the stronger you get. And eventually, What once broke you becomes what now builds you. Failure is the same. It may feel crushing at first, but if you don't quit, it becomes the very thing that strengthens your character and expands your capacity. But let me make this clear, failure alone doesn't make you grow. It's what you choose to do with it. Some people fail and become bitter. Others fail and become better. The difference is perspective. You can look at failure as proof that you're not good enough, or you can look at failure as evidence that you're still in the game, still learning, still moving forward. Failure is fertilizer. It stinks, it's messy, but it grows you if you let it. Now, resilience. Resilience is the byproduct of failure. You don't get resilience by winning all the time. You don't get resilience by having everything go your way. You don't get resilience when life is easy. Resilience is built in the ashes, in the ruins, in the moments when you thought you couldn't take another step, but somehow you did. Resilience is what happens when failure meets faith, when you fall and you rise again. Not weaker, not the same, but stronger, wiser, and more determined. Resilience is not about never breaking. It's about refusing to stay broken. It's about having the courage to get up when no one else believes in you. It's about choosing to keep going when the odds are stacked against you. It's about saying, yes, I failed, but I am not finished. Resilience is that unshakable spirit that refuses to die. It's the heartbeat of every champion, every leader, every world changer. When you build resilience, you become unbreakable. It doesn't mean you won't fall, but it means no fall will keep you down. It doesn't mean you won't face storms, but it means no storm will drown you. It doesn't mean you won't face rejection, pain, or failure, but it means every one of those things will only sharpen you, only mold you, only make you more unstoppable than before. So stop running from failure and start embracing it. Stop fearing it and start learning from it. Because failure will refine you and resilience will define you. And here's the beauty: once you've walked through failure, once you've built resilience, you don't just change your own life. You become an example to others. Your story becomes proof that it's possible. Your scars become a roadmap for someone else who's struggling. Your resilience becomes hope for someone who thinks they can't make it. Your greatest gift to the world will not be your successes. It will be your comebacks. People don't follow perfection, they follow resilience. They follow the one who fell 7 times, but stood up 8. They follow the one who was knocked down, rejected, broken, but refused to quit. That's the power of failing forward. It not only transforms you, it transforms everyone who witnesses your journey. Failure refines you. Resilience defines you. And together they position you for a destiny that can't be denied. Ladies and gentlemen, hear me clearly. Failure is not your enemy, it is your instructor. Every stumble, every setback, every rejection was not sent to destroy you, but develop you. Success is not built on perfection. It is built on persistence. It is built on the courage to rise again when everything in you screams to stay down. It is built on resilience, on the unshakable belief that no matter what comes against you, you are bigger than your circumstances, stronger than your setbacks, and greater than your excuses. You see, life will test you, life will break you, but life will also reward you if you refuse to quit. The difference between those who give up and those who rise is simple. One sees failure as the end, the other sees it as the beginning of something greater. If you want to transform your trials into triumphs, you must embrace the fire, because it's in that fire where you are refined. You must keep pushing when the road is rough, because it's in that struggle where resilience is born. And you must keep failing forward, because each fall is preparing you for your rise. So the next time failure knocks on your door, don't run from it. Open the door and invite it in. Learn from it, grow through it, and let it shape you. Because when you refuse to quit, when you choose to rise again and again, there is nothing, absolutely nothing, that can stop you. Remember this: failure refines you, resilience defines you, and together they lead you to a success that no one can take away. Stand tall, keep grinding, keep moving forward, because your breakthrough is waiting on the other side of your persistence.